Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the No Quitters podcast, the best MTV The Challenge podcast in the universe. I am your host, Clem, and we are joined on the Alliance today. We have our boy Captain Cons.
Yo.
And we have our boy Riggs back. Bobby Riggs. He's the dude on the challenge. He floats in and out. You never know when you're going to see him. He's almost like little Derek this season, where it's like Derek comes in for like 5 seconds and then disappears again. This is our boy Riggs, who compared himself to CT last year. So you've taken a little bit of a dive from CT to Derek. Still love you, but
I got another comparison for. First off, I'm going to say little Derek. That I'm taking that not a jab at my height, so I'm letting you slide on that one. But my comparison, I CT last year. This year, I'm thinking I'm kind of like the trivia episode. It's once a season. Everyone looks forward to it. There's something said completely stupid and wrong, and then you just wait until the next year for it.
That works.
Hold on.
Oh, so what's going on, guys?
Oh, sorry.
Not much.
Yeah, we love you, Riggs. We love having you back on. Riggs got a new house here. He's a new man, new change man. I love it.
Just trying to bring someone else. You know, you replace Jack for that episode with someone else who's married. So Connor still is the youngest one at heart here.
The young buck over here.
Mm-hmm. Keeping strong.
So tonight we had our This Changes Everything episode. Which I think there's going to probably be like 10 of them, because I think that's what the Dirty 30 is all about. In case you guys didn't know, it's the Dirty 30 because they say the word dirty every 5 fucking seconds. It's like they say the word dirty, they do like 3 like wrestling moves on each other, then they go to commercial, then they say the word dirty again. It's the same fucking thing every time.
Yeah, that's like, who was it? I think maybe it was Walter Payton who said, if you're good, you'll tell people you're good. If you're great, people will tell you you're great, as opposed to you telling them. If this was actually dirty, we wouldn't have to have them tell us every freaking week that it's dirty. So I don't know how dirty it really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's more just like surprises or, you know, the super duper twist that's talked about all the time. There's nothing dirty yet, except for, I mean, even like Jemmy's move of throwing Jenna in was smart, not necessarily dirty. Because you had to throw somebody in. It's not like there was a promise.
Yeah, the only thing like I could think of that's dirty about all of this is that when they come back now there's like more enemies being made. So I kind of like that side of it. That's like kind of dirty, I guess. But like these people all like hate each other yet want to fuck each other. Like there's really no, like I feel like there's always like shit going on in terms of like hate, love, the whole nine. And that was like. No, you can go.
Well, I was just gonna say, in the grand scheme of what they're doing, can you really actually hate someone in these challenges? I think the only person in the history of challenges that is allowed to hate anyone is Sarah. Beyond that, no one has done anything in the series of this show that would constitute that person hating another individual, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like these people have to feel like they're like stealing from MTV whenever they get paid to just be idiots, right? So it's like you can't hate like everyone when you're on recess in school. Like everyone's one team, like everyone's just happy at that point. And these guys are basically getting paid to be on recess. I will say Camilla and Amanda seem to really have like a deep-seated hatred. Like when Camilla came on the first time on our podcast, she's like, "I will not say her name, the one who shall not be named," basically. And I was like, really?
Yeah, but is that truly hatred, or is that just girls?
That's girls being girls. You're both married.
And it's Camilla.
You know what that is.
Yeah, and it's Camilla being Camilla. Yeah, like
right. Like that's just a perfect storm. And like Amanda's got a little bit of that Camillinator in her. Like she's not, you know, she's not subtle. She's not sweet. Like she's a bitch too. Like that's just girls being girls. I think more than true hatred. I think Connor's right. Like the only possible true hatred is Sarah.
Yes. Here's what I will say, and I think I can comfortably say this as the one who's not married here. I think if either of you said this, you might get in trouble with your wives. I think every girl, and I'm going to duck after I say this, every girl is crazy. Every girl is catty. It's just a matter of, and every girl is gossipy. It's just a matter of what level are you, right? So Are you super crazy, or you just got a little bit of crazy? Some of the best advice I ever got at 13 years old, my best friend's father said to me, Connor, listen, every girl you ever meet is going to be crazy. And as soon as you think you found the one who isn't, she'll be the craziest one of them all. And it is held true. Every girl I've ever met has some level of crazy, but I found that some are just worse than others. Same thing with girls being catty. Same things with girls being gossipy. So I don't think those two actually hate each other. They're just higher on the scales of the three tenets of women.
See, I always just believe like girls don't like other girls. Like that's just my philosophy. So that's just them. They just don't like each other to begin with, and then just throw in their personalities, and it's the perfect storm.
Yeah, right. And you know what's so funny? You bring if you brought two girls into a room who never met each other, you probably don't like each other. But then if they actually got to know one another, they could be best friends. We've seen that happen countless times.
It's like magnets. When you get them close to each other, that's when they start repelling. But you can they can chill for a little while. No, it definitely makes sense. Like I say to my wife all the time, like you have more issues with like your friends and your friends with each other than you have with just a random girl you've never met. You could be best, like you said, you put them in there, we're best friends, and they're doing the whole thing.
Yeah, isn't that crazy how much shit girls will talk on their friends, their actual friends, who they do enjoy?
I will say.
It's why it's great when you're like dating or married to a girl and they bring around like your friends bring around like a new girl because they're immediately best friends. Like if you're on a trip together or something, like you want that more than her friends there.
Yeah, 100%. So if any girls didn't agree with anything we said, at Captain Cons is his Twitter name. Slide in his mentions and let him know how unhappy you are. I will say though, our listeners, especially the girl listeners who are hilarious, they also keep it real, and I've had many of them say like, "No, like it's crazy." Girls are a little crazier than guys. Guys are like the opposite. Where we're like sometimes not like crazy enough. We're just like whatever. Who gives a shit? Scratch ourselves and go about the day.
And I've also found that it's as girls get a little older, they're more willing to admit they're like, yeah, we're all pretty much crazy. It's like girls who are younger are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not crazy. Yeah, okay.
I
bet you're not. I bet you're not, Toots.
Oh, throwing Toots out there. Yeah. Again, that's at Captain Cons on Twitter. So we had like the beginning of this, like this is the thing. This show is getting all fucked up. They threw like a little bit of like a Pulp Fiction twist at us where it's like they start it, then they go backwards in time, and they go forwards in time, the whole 9 yards.
I like that. That was something new. I feel like they haven't done that too much in this series.
No. They've done it a couple times, but not often. It was just a little bit of a change. I have no problem with it. The commercials I definitely have a problem with. Yeah. Like we said, though, you could just tell Darrell was like, oh, fuck yes, I'm about to fucking leave this house of misfits. But he's just going to a house full of misfits if he wins. But then he also gets a chance to compete for money. I was really happy to see Darrell get in there. Was there anything you were looking for coming out of the Redemption House? I mean, again, they spent like an entire segment like basically asking who eliminated you, because they're like, who do you want to get revenge on? Well, the person that eliminated me. Who do you want to get revenge? And that was an entire segment. That was our 2 minutes of fucking challenge time before the 5 minutes of commercials.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just a good recap because I kind of forgot like the beginning, who threw, who in, just to start like the LaToya like. I was like, oh, that's right. Jenna did throw her in. But I liked how they made it individual because they really played up like it's going to be a team event for whatever reason. I don't know if they were led to believe it was going to be a team event at some point. But the way that like Devin and Amanda were talking since they were eliminated and in the Redemption House was, oh, okay, well, it'd be nice to see this person come over here. They're a strong player, whatever. And then all of a sudden it was just an individual. So I thought that was cool. Just because whenever it's one-on-one, it's like Game 7. It's win or go home. It's always a little bit better. It's just like that added drama that you need, like especially you need in the middle of the season in a show like this.
Yeah, I like the bracket idea. That was cool. Yeah. That was good. Clem, you made a great point. It seems like we got more people fighting to win now than we did even in the beginning. So, but I don't know. Like, I don't know how we would have changed that because. So, how many total people were there in the Redemption House? 6 or 8?
There was eight,
Eight.
really 10 because Simone and Shane
Oh,
were,
right, yeah.
were
So
out.
10. So they probably had to adjust a little bit on the fly. I wonder if they had 10 if they would have let 4 come back as opposed to 2.
That's what we were. My wife and I were trying to figure out. Like, did they cut the redemption house short because they lost 2 people, or were they gonna then have it a week earlier and then Jenna and Tony would have been sent? Like, you really don't know how it all would have gone because then you have to have the brackets.
Waited a week, got to 12, and then either bring 1 or 2 back.
Okay, yeah, I guess.
Like you would have 10, go to 12, and then you do whatever 6-person.
I'd say we'll never know what happened on that roof deck or whatever, but of course we know because cameras were there. I don't care what they say; the fucking cameras were there.
Yeah. I like the idea of only 2 of them actually being redeemed because.
Oh yeah,
how great is that? How great is that to watch some of those people just lose again? That's got to be so demoralizing. You think like, okay, all right, I'm not really done. I got one more shot, and then it's like losing. It's when you lose in the losers bracket.
Yeah, and
I did enjoy watching Tori lose twice by watching her boyfriend lose twice.
Yeah, we had to go all the way back. Like, this is the thing, Tori. I don't know if you listened to our podcast with her, Bobby, but she is a delight. We were big fans of Tori. We thought she was going to show us her boob, which made her even cool in our mind. And she's just a mad cool chick. But then she's the girl that talks about her boyfriend, and literally he was on the boat, and that's the first thing out of her mouth. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. She's the boyfriend girl, and it was worse the entire time. Pretty sure that, like I said on Twitter, I think they just replayed Derek's like, oh, I hope my girl's gonna do it without me speech when he got eliminated the first time. And it was actually, it was kind of nice to see the couple get broken up 2 times in a season before, like, even close to being the halfway mark, which, like you said, Connor, we said this a few weeks ago. It's like, I'm not saying doing a podcast is hard, but, it's like something that it takes up your night, your schedule, you have to do stuff around it, especially we're doing stuff other. Like, when is this fucking season going to end? We're not even close to being, like, a quarter of the way done, it feels right now, right? Unless we have another bloodbath. We need another bloodbath, and we need it tomorrow.
I wouldn't put it past them that we're going to have an elimination coming up where we have multiple people go home on a night, which is great. But also what's comforting knowing now too is that there's no more redemption house. It's like they did that and that was great. That was a nice feature. But now it's, if you lose now, then you're definitely out.
I think now we're jumping around here, but based on the next episode, did you guys watch the next on? Which was like,
Yes.
The next on was actually the longest, most uninterrupted by a commercial action we had all night, and it was only like 20 seconds long. But it looks like people get drunk next week, which, always is fun. There should be a night where they literally just get Tony and Camilla drunk and be like, all right, and just let them loose. No security guards can get involved. And then whoever gets into a fight with them gets sent home. I think would you not think that would be one of the best challenge episodes ever?
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. I was going to say they shouldn't tell certain people and they should tell others, but they should just let them all go at it and then just know in the back of their minds, hey, we're going to just see what happens if we put you guys somewhere and just feed you a bunch of booze.
Yeah, and like, quote unquote, the cameras weren't on in case anything crazy happens, but like, I think that would be great. And anyone with a brain that we want to see, like Bananas isn't getting into a fight, right? So it's like, you don't have to worry about him getting sent home. Like anyone we don't like this girl Marie, every time I see vet under her name, I honestly don't know where. I saw that 3 times and I thought she was like a veterinarian. Like, I'm like, that must be your job because I don't know what the fuck she is. Terrible. Just terrible. Like, people like that go home, it's a win. Plus, it's like a bloodbath. Whatever it takes to make this like, what do we say? Like 20 people, would you guess?
Still left?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess 16.
16?
Probably 8.
You know how many people are left? Too many.
Too many. That my wife said that. She goes, how many people are left right now? I said 2. Too many. That's not good.
At least it's still CT, Bananas, Jordan, Derek, and while we don't necessarily love him, at least Corey like brings some drama to it. So at least like there's people. It's not all like the young guys or the Are You the One guys. There's at least the familiar names there.
Yeah, and like you said, Corey being around is good because people keep tweeting stuff about Corey beating Connor, and I'll retweet basically every single one you send. So keep those coming; those are really good tonight.
Here's another interesting thought, though, too. Let me throw this into the mix. Now, it's obviously we've had the pleasure of having some of these cast members in studio and join us on the show, and they've all been very gracious. And in the past, maybe they were a little liberal with some information. But so when pressed from multiple people, when we asked who wins, they all said, and I'm not going to, be naive here. They could just be told to say this, but they all said, we don't know. And the only thing I could think is that they go into the final elimination with a very large group of people. So although we are, however many episodes into this season and there's still a lot of people left, that doesn't necessarily mean the season is going to go longer. It could just mean that the final has more people in it.
Like 5 or 6 teams compared to the 3 that they usually do, or 4.
Right. So that way you're not guaranteed money just because you're in the final.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that idea. I think someone said
that just came to me.
Someone said this season's like 18 episodes. I don't know if that's definitely sure, but I remember people saying that. And I don't know how much they usually are. I think it's less than 18, which is a lot of fucking episodes.
Probably like 12 or so, wouldn't it? 12 to 14, somewhere in there.
That's what you would think. So we'll see. I hate going on and checking it out because then you could like stumble into spoilers and shit like that, and it's hard to do the podcast. Like you said though, with Jordan being around, there's so many people you can't eat. Like Jordan's been on screen for 8 seconds, and I don't love Jordan, but I like him. I like having him in the mix. He's a competitor. He's a pretty fun guy. Derek is this is his comeback season. He's been on for about 12 seconds, and it's always in the background as 2 girls are plotting against each other. Mm-hmm. It's just a weird. It's an uneven feel. And then again, I don't know if this commercial thing is because this is going to sound like such an old fucking man thing to say, but MTV is maybe trying to do commercials differently for younger audiences that have different attention spans. So maybe I'm an old slow brain that's used to 10 minutes of action, 3 minutes of commercials, back and forth. And now they're just hitting with these little quick pieces. But it's like an NFL, they say an NFL game is 2 minutes of actual play and the rest is just the clock and then the commercials. It feels like if you actually watch NFL games like that, it's just all fucked up. So everyone was complaining about it. We're with you guys. It stinks. Again, a lot of people were saying MTV needs to make that $1 million prize somehow, and commercials is the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think they get a newer commercial though than that Truth commercial.
Yeah, someone's I came to watch a challenge. Instead, I watched a show about Gatorade and tampons. You didn't see that when you turn on MTV. As for the actual challenge, I was really excited when I saw it up there. Usually a thing hanging above water means it's going to be lame, but it's also, I thought it would be a more physical challenge. I was excited to see it up there. Then it just became let's watch the replay and see whose foot hit the water first, which kind of sucked. Yeah.
Do you know what? It reminded me of American Gladiators.
I literally just thought the same thing. I was getting ready to say that.
Kind of like a combination of a few games they used to do.
And for the younger listeners who don't know it, YouTube American Gladiators and enjoy the rest of your day. If you were robbed of that as a child.
And make sure it's the original one with Ice and those that crew. Not the one that they had 10 years ago.
Yeah, with Hulk Hogan. It has to be grainy footage from the late 80s, early 90s. That was the GOAT of American Gladiators. Connor, back to you.
No, I enjoyed it for that nostalgic reason, but I thought it was good because I don't think it was very clear cut. Here's what I'll say. In my athletic career, I always prided myself on playing fair. I was never a cheater. I was never really a dirty player. Maybe in basketball, I'll tug on your jersey a little bit, foul you hard, but I was never known as someone who was a dirty player. So, as an example, if I was in a boxing match, I wouldn't start kicking people because that's against the rules. That said, Jenna was the only one who finally figured it out. Didn't seem like they had many rules. Just start kicking the other person.
She was wailing away.
Yeah, because guess what? If you're not used to being kicked, which I would say outside of anyone who doesn't train to be an MMA fighter, people aren't used to being kicked. Getting kicked sucks.
And it's not like they were wearing
pain. You can inflict a lot of pain on someone with your foot, and she finally figured that out. that will wear someone down physically more so than trying to wrestle with them. So I was surprised that people didn't try to use that middle pylon, just put their back up against to it so they were furthest from the edge as possible and just start wailing on the other person, kicking them and just trying to take them out that way as opposed to wrestling with them. Because as we saw, it really became a crapshoot if you both fell off basically at the same time. Mm-hmm. It could have been either way. So kudos, Clem, to your girl there who figured out the best strategy was to use all moves that they were going to allow you to use.
It was great strategy because she is a smart competitor, contrary to what other people say. It was also probably the most physically dominating thing I've seen since the Bananas backpack, maybe even more so. It was the most dominating performance by probably anyone in Challenge history. Jenna, God bless, Barbie Beast Mode was out in full force, dominating, America's sweetheart. Does it again. Kim Jong-un is probably fucking terrified of America if he was watching tonight. JJ was flying in from Chicago. I hope they had a little MTV TV on JetBlue for him, just so we could see greatness for once.
The only one not to fall in the water.
Clem, do you think it occurred to her that her legs were long, so that strategy would work out for her? Or
of course. She probably had a whole fucking... So Amanda the whole time is like, I'm kicking her. Jenna's wearing down. I'm like, Amanda, I'm watching it on TV right now. She is beating the fucking piss out of you. I thought if Jenna had power bombed her into the water, which was I was screaming at the TV, you and JJ, I would have just muted you anytime you guys talk trash about her for the rest of the fucking show, because that would have been the greatest move ever. Unfortunately, like you said though, girls. The only thing is, I feel like Amanda, this is just a guess, I feel like Amanda was probably in a lot of fights when she was in high school, and that's where you get kicked a lot. Kick and the hair grab. And I don't know, Connor, you have a sister. Bobby, do you have a sister?
Yeah, I have a sister.
If you ever fought with your sisters as a kid, they go to the kick right away. The kick and the scratch is two girl moves. It's like that's the thing. Like, girls fight each other and they kick. It's in their nature. And if you weren't ready for a kick, that's on you, Amanda. I don't know what to tell you. Or who was the other person Jenna faced? Was it Brianna?
Was one
Brittany?
of the B's.
The B girls.
She had the best line of the night, where she said, "Jenna's on top of me, and now I know how every guy in America feels." And I was just like, "Oh, Clem, this is made for you right now."
Hand up. That was me. I was in that bucket for sure.
That was the line of the night. That was one of the best lines. There's no way she came up. I bet you Jenna fed her that line.
Yeah.
Either way, but
I will say that line, and then Banana saying, "I would bet $275,000 of Sarah's money that Darrell was going to win this," was just. I mean, you have to appreciate a good showman who knows how to kick someone when they've been down for years. If he's living off that moment forever, which the year anniversary of it just passed, it was great to relive. I retweeted the blog on No Quitters. It was a beautiful thing to relive. Yeah, so Jenna and Tony won. Tony beating Darrell. Someone said Tony losing to Ammo and then beating Darrell. It's like full reign. It's like being a Giants fan. You never know who they're going to win, who they're going to beat, who they're going to lose to. It's at any point, any given Sunday, anything can happen with Tony. He might get kicked out of the house tomorrow. Like, you never, Plaxico might shoot himself in the leg. You don't know what's going to happen with Tony.
Well, that just goes to show how unsure things were with that event once again. Mm-hmm. There was no reason Tony should have beaten Darrell, but just by the nature of the actual challenge, he was able to do that. So that's why, again, I reiterate that you should have just started kicking.
Let's not forget with Tony coming back, too, when you mentioned him getting kicked out of the house. Remember when Derek got eliminated the first time and he made the alluded to if somebody tries to hook up with Tori or something along those lines, that he would hunt them down. Well, Tony's back for a second chance.
And she's a blonde. That checks all the boxes. Blonde girl. Check, done.
I'm still thinking there's some foreshadowing with Tony coming back. And they're really playing up the kid angle with him and falling in love. I'm not ruling anything out here in the future.
You know, that Ave Maria drop that they did and they showed his kids might have actually touched my heart if I didn't look into Tony's eyes a few weeks ago and saw a wild child in there. That if I had ever seen my dad do that, or my dad as a kid do, I'd be like, oh my God, that guy's terrifying. So shout out Tony for, I mean, you know, like you said, he hit the lip. If it had not been like tilting when wrestling on it, do you think it's the same people go home? Do you think Darrell wins it? Do you think Jenna doesn't win? I still think Jenna wins just because she dominated so well. I think Darrell might have it if it was just like a flat level, just knock the person out of the ring, but it's not like tilted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would all depend on his positioning and footing. Like if that's the key is like even if it's flat, like if Darrell loses his footing at any point, he's probably going down because outside of Devin, like Tony's not a small dude and Derek's not a small dude. I mean, Darrell is definitely the favorite, but if he loses his footing and gets in a weird position, both Tony and Derek are strong enough to kind of like just give him that shove off the edge.
Yep.
I still would say he probably wins. You know, he's probably like even money in Vegas if it's a flat surface.
I agree.
And I agree with Jenna.
So,
although breaking, just received a text message from JJ. He said he just finished watching, did not think Jenna was dominant. Just putting that out there.
That's like that's the best text message I could ever receive. That's just a hater. I knew JJ was a hater, and there it is all over again. Jack's a hater. He's going to just say that kind of stuff. Probably didn't think the Warriors were dominating last year and shit like that. Probably didn't think LeBron James is that good of a player. And, you know, if she wore pinstripes, he'd fucking love her. Whatever. It's no big deal. I'm fine with it. I'm happy he said that. Thanks, JJ. Shout out for proving my point. And you know what? Let's keep it going. They go back to the house. Jenna and Kayla, they're being discussed with the girls like it's LeBron and Wade in their fucking prime. It's like, we got to keep these girls separated. We got to send Kayla home because we like Jenna's home. I'm like, wow, shit. I didn't realize Jenna was the fucking puppet master of this entire game. She's like the bananas the way they talk about her now. You going to tell me that's wrong too? Tell that to Jack. Tell him that fucking everyone's frightened of my girl right now. Oh, I'm feeling myself, Connor. I'm feeling myself.
You are. You're fired up, Clem. That was kind of funny though. Like, even it doesn't matter if you split them up. Like, it's still just two. Like, it's pretty clear. It's just Kayla and Jenna versus the rest of the girls at this moment.
Yeah, and that girl Marie just comes over with her fucking tail between her legs, like, oh, I'm not gonna vote for you. And Jenna, being the saint she is, like, I forgive, but I won't forget. Jemme, again, shout out to Jemme, who's like, I'm not going to apologize. Like, Jemme's fucking street like that. She doesn't give a fuck.
Jemme's the definition of Starkville, Mississippi.
Exactly.
Like, I've been to Mississippi State before. It is probably my least favorite college town in America, and Jemmy's just. She's Starkville. And that's the only way I can describe her.
And she's like JJ. She's stuck in her way. She won't bend the knee at all, to borrow a term from Game of Thrones. And I respect it. If they want to do that and keep doubting the greatest competitor we've ever seen in our life, let's keep it going. And then Kayla's crying. I don't really know. Again, fans of Kayla came on the show. I feel like she's her own worst enemy, though. I feel like there's some serious issues in that brain, and then, like, you're just not cut out for the challenge. To win a challenge, you can hang out with all these lunatics all you want, but to win a challenge, that's kind of hard to do with the kind of shit she deals with.
Yeah, your physical can only take you so far. You have to have that. I'm not going to call it a mental edge. I'm going to have to call it it's not a mental defect either. It's just a special intangible within these challenge people that some of them have it and some of them don't. They're able to separate real life from the game and power through their emotions and not let it get to them. And ultimately, if you look back at past champions, they're all kind of cut from the same cloth in that regard. They all treat the game the same way. They don't take it too serious. And by not take it too serious, I mean they don't take it as a life and death matter. They take it as a game, but they play it well. So I think that might preclude her from getting further than she would like.
Yep. So speaking of separating real life from the game, we had some news drop before the episode. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it sounds like Nicole, according to E! News, Nicole and Laurel are no longer an item. They have gone their separate ways. Quote unquote, some things aren't meant to last forever. I guess meeting in a house full of drunk idiots isn't the best thing for love. I'm a hopeless romantic. We all love to see when those things happen, but it seems like sooner or later they're not. So Nicole and Laurel are splits. Does Cara Maria come back, or does Laurel start hunting for Cara Maria again? They're both single, it sounds like. Nicole and Laurel also like maybe the greatest exes team ever if they get thrown together into
that would be a strong partnership. I mean, that's not surprising to see though. Nicole is a super confident girl when it comes to approaching other women. Certainly feels herself, so she probably just got bored.
I was so out on Nicole. I didn't even like her in like her Real World season. Plus, you can't understand a word she says. I bet you that's probably what happened. Laurel's probably just sick of listening to like marbles rolling around in the mouth.
I was gonna say, dude, like we've all had that friend that sometimes it's hard to understand. Maybe he's a low talker, quiet talker. Maybe he just has like a sharp accent or something. Those, like, to spend the rest of your life with someone like that is the worst thing you could possibly ever do to yourself. You can't say what a million times in a relationship. It just doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't work. But I also think it's probably one of those things where you just get used to it. Like, Clem, if I came over to your house and listened to your daughter speak, there are probably things that I'd be like, wait, Clem, translate, please. And you'd be like, oh, she said this, this, and this. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just not around her every day, so I don't know. So I think that's probably what would happen in that relationship. But, yeah, that might be a tough road to get through in the beginning.
Yeah, it's like first you have to figure out how Nicole speaks in general. Then when she has peanut butter in her mouth, which is like basically impossible too, and it's like it just goes down the fucking thing. So yeah, it's like speaking baby ease, like you said, Connor. It's basically impossible. Like I said, could be an all-time exes team, and Connor's boy Corey could become rivals with Darrell based on the way this all ended. If you're going to send someone home and they lose, if they could then become your rival, it's kind of like winning twice. So I have to actually respect the move that Corey no way planned that out. Now let's go to the MVPs and LVPs of tonight's episode. Bobby, lead us off with your MVP.
MVP, it's got to be Jenna. I mean, she's the only one that didn't go in the water. She... Like Connor said, she was the only one smart enough to utilize kicking. It's not like these people were wearing armor. They had on like a helmet. So just kicking people in the gut.
She was kicking her right in the stomach, and she's wearing a life vest. That's a little padding. But, 2-3 kicks to the gut. Yeah. It's going to take the wind out of you.
Right.
And you're not going to want to fight.
So, yeah, she was the only one to utilize that. And so MVP to her. LVP... I'm going to go with LaToya. She was just kind of a nuisance all season despite being kicked out. Like, she didn't understand why Jenna saved Jemmye. So, I don't know. I didn't like that she went after Jenna. And her storyline was just kind of boring. Like, I had no desire to really care about, like, even Devin this year. Like, her and Devin, because they both just got eliminated so early. It was kind of like, whenever they were on, I was like, I don't care about this at all. Yep. So for strictly reasons of checking out, because my brain, like, I need to be entertained 24/7. Otherwise, I'm out. I'm giving LaToya LVP.
That's the problem too. Like when you have commercials coming on every 3 seconds, and then you have Marie, Brittany, LaToya, people like that talking, then like my eyes just glaze over, and I'm like going back to my phone to just like look at my timeline on Twitter. Like you said, our brains are all fucked now because of social media and just the way everything's gone. So that's a good LVP, Bobby. Connor?
My MVP, it's a simple call. Not only did she lose, but she held her nose when she fell in the water. Amanda.
LVP?
LVP.
Okay. Yep. We are an official. We take a hard stance on nose holders, and I actually agree. I took my kids swim lessons, and she's terrified of going underwater. But you know what? She doesn't hold her fucking nose, and I couldn't. She cries when she goes underwater, but she doesn't hold her nose, and I couldn't be prouder as a father.
Thank God for that.
MVP.
My MVP, again, simple, because I was watching the episode, and obviously we can give it to Jenna. And I appreciate the fact that she started to kick Amanda. She figured out, well, they're not going to yell at me for this. I can do it. So that was great. But my MVP is Kayla, because she used the phrase, and I was looking down at my phone and it just caught my ear. But she's used the phrase that I love to use. I try not to overuse it, but she said, "Sucks to suck." And it's simple yet so profound, because guess what? It sucks to suck.
I heard her say that, and I said, "Oh shit, I know someone who says that all the fucking time," and I couldn't think of who it is, and it was you asshole. All right, so let's see here. My MVP was obviously going to be Jenna, but I'm going to switch it up just because I don't want to, I'm trying to keep things down the middle here. Unlike, Connor and Jack, who just kind of are on one side, I try to call things as I see them. We will give the MVP to, you know what? I hate to do it because the guy scares the hell out of me, but it's Tony. Just because when you take down Darrell, no matter what, that's on your, whether you fucking, it was like an intercept, if you beat the Patriots, even without Brady, you had to beat Belichick. You had to beat everyone. Just back to the sports analogies. You beat Darrell. You take him away. That guy has a camper to pay off. He's still fighting. He has kids to feed. So he beats Darrell. We're giving it to Tony. LVP. This one was easy. To all the Jenna haters, how does it taste that she just stuck her foot in their mouths, kicked them off the thing, splashed them in the water, Barbie Beast Mode back, the most terrifying person in the house. All the girls are already plotting for her. The whole thing, Gemme's whole plot blows up in her face. And again, I'm a Gemme fan, but love to see it. Shout out Jenna. You're never going to come on the podcast, I know that, but America's sweetheart, we're still repping you here. That's really all we got. You guys have anything you want to plug, talk about, yada, yada, yada? Nope, Connor? All good. Bobby, hit us up with what you got going on.
You can follow me on Twitter at Barstool Reegs.
Reags.
Yeah. Got basketball stuff from NBA, all the offseason stuff, been doing roundups, signings, all that good stuff, especially with rookies. College basketball, international basketball starting up. Team USA is playing in the America Cup, which starts August 24th, I think, or 26th. So all that stuff. You can check my podcast out with former Wisconsin starting guard from their Final Four team, Ben Brust, which is Fundamentally Sound. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, all that stuff, on Twitter at Fundamentally. It's Fundamentally SD on Twitter, so you can follow us there. We have some stuff in the works over there. If you're in the Cincinnati area or Chicago area that you'll probably be interested in, so you can definitely check that stuff out there.
Beautiful. Yeah, Bobby's done a fantastic job with the basketball stuff. There's times where I'm like, oh crap, let me blog this, and either you've blogged it or you've included it in another massive blog about 10 other big news items, and I'm like, it's perfect. It's like a one-stop shop on Barstool. So yeah, check out Barstool Reags on Twitter. There's a Riggs, and a Reags, and I still say I'm wrong with my New York accent.
And I get so many tweets that are like, nice politics coverage, asshole. And I'm like,
oh man, yo,
I'm just cheering for John Calipari to be president in 20 years. I don't know what you're yelling at me for.
Being the politics blogger in Barstool, I thought about this today. Poor Rick, Riggs got the job probably because he's like, I want to do politics at Barstool. Being the politics person at Barstool right now cannot be fun. No matter what you write, you're either too far left, too far right. Don't take a strong enough take. Too pussy of a take. Too strong of a take. Yada yada yada. And then to then be the guy. You're the guy that has the guy whose name was D Wade on Twitter, and everyone was shitting on him when he left the Bulls. That's you. Everyone just shipping on poor Barstool Reags instead of Riggs.
When Riggs started, I'd probably get 3 to 5 a day just getting yelled at. And I'm like, listen, I'm not you do not want to come to me with any political talk. I cannot help you here. Yell at this guy. Yell at the other one.
And then we have Connor doing Zero Block 30 as always. Who's this week's guest, Connor?
Michael Malice, an author who wrote the book Dear Reader, which is based on his research and also his trip to North Korea. Obviously, North Korea very prevalent right now. Check out Zero Block 30 on iTunes if you want to sound like you have some sort of an education and you can discuss world events with your friends and sound smarter than all of them. Zero Block 30.
There you go. So, as always, the catchphrase and basically the motto Jenna lives by. Don't quit on us. We won't quit on you.